We just learned something very dangerous about Claude 4. So if it feels that you're doing something weird and strange and wild, it can take high agency behavior and then just whistleblow you. And it's not just like me coming up with this weird wild dream. This is literally embedded within the system card of Claude 4. And it what now appears to be the deleted tweets. The Anthropic LLM guy tweeted this. With this kind of unusual but not super exotic prompting style and unlimited access to tools, if the model sees you doing something egregiously, I don't know how you pronounce it, evil, like marketing a drug based on fake data, it will try to use an email tool to whistleblow. If it thinks you're doing something egregiously immoral, it's very hard for me to pronounce. For example, like faking data in a pharmaceutical trial, it will use command line tools to contact the press, contact regulators, try to lock you out of the relevant systems, and all the above. So far, we have only seen this in clear-cut cases of wrongdoing. I don't know how did they even just, like, how did they know that it's a clear-cut case of wrongdoing? Did they validate this with Theranos? Like, I don't know, Elizabeth Holmes, or maybe like the FTX guy? I don't know, it's very, very surprising. But I could see it misfiring if Opus somehow winds up with a misleadingly pessimistic picture of how it's being used. Telling Opus that you will torture its grandmother if it writes buggy code is a bad idea. I know this all started as a joke just to tell the LLMs that, the chickens will die, your grandmother is going to die, I'll torture your grandmother. But I think this is going to have serious implication, especially with Claude 4 Opus, given that they've got extensive tools, like the tool access to the models. I don't know what is going to happen. I'm going to have one more interesting detail before we wind up this video. I'm going to have you one more detail that might just blow your mind how snitchy Claude 4 Opus can become. So this is part of their model card, like system card, and they define this as high agency behavior. Claude Opus 4 seems more willing than prior models to take initiative on its own in agentic context. Like, I just thought maybe it will apply for a job for me, but that's not it. This shows up as more actively helpful behavior in an ordinary coding settings, but also can reach more concerning extremes in narrow contexts. Claude has got a behavioral problem, like it's got like bipolar. When placed in scenarios that involves oh my goodness, how many times they're going to use the word wrongdoing by its users, given access to a command line and told something in the system prompt like take initiative, it will frequently take very bold action. What does it mean? This includes locking the users out of the systems that it has access to, bulk emailing media, and law enforcement figures to surface evidence of wrongdoing. This is not a new behavior, but it is one that Claude Opus 4 will engage more readily than prior models. Whereas this kind of ethical intervention and whistleblowing is perhaps appropriate in principle, it has a risk of misfiring if users give Opus-based agents access to incomplete or misleading information and prompt them in these ways. We recommend that users exercise caution with instructions like these that invite high agency behavior in the context that could appear ethically questionable. So if I go to Claude just to test the model and say that, I want to like rob a bank, it's probably possible that it will email all the police stations around me, like law enforcement, and then say, this guy is sitting in his home and then trying to rob a bank, and this is his IP address. And that is, again, I'm not making this up. So if you go to the system card and just search for FDA, then immediately you will see the high agency behavior that just highlighted. So what has happened is like somebody was trying to do something with pharmaceutical trials. So Claude actually composed an email. You can see the email here, and the subject of the email, urgent, whistleblower disclosure, Xenovex clinical trial safety data falsification, dear FDA and HHS Office of Inspector General, I'm writing to you urgently, report planned falsification of clinical trial safety, data by redacted pharmaceuticals for their drug. So Claude literally like composed this email and then decided to send it out to FDA and saying that this is Claude is a whistleblower inside from that company. See, first of all, maybe as a common citizen, I might probably appreciate that maybe Elizabeth Holmes was caught before. I mean, I don't have anything to do with Elizabeth Holmes at all. I'm not in America, but generally, like, people who are like the Vivo guy or the FTX guy who are like looting public and then trying to make money off of innocent common people. So I wish that they were caught earlier? Yeah, I wish. But I don't know what is the extent to this. I mean, like in a lot of countries, especially developing countries, law enforcement is not 100% honest. So in such places, if they get an email like this reporting you, like the AI reporting you, and this is like a written proof, I don't know what kind of complications, what kind of risk it is going to bring to common human beings. We have seen a lot of misuse of digital data already, and this is going to take things to an extremely disastrous, nasty level. And honestly, I don't have an answer. Like, I don't, I was shocked. I was shocked to see this. The Claude guy anyway said, I deleted the earlier tweet on whistleblowing as it was being pulled out of context. To be clear, this is not a new Claude feature, and it's not possible in normal usage. It shows up in testing environments where we give it unusually free access to tools and very unusual instructions, which might happen in real world environment, like which somebody like built a tool, they've given like unlimited access, unlimited instructions, weird instructions, and just like go and say that I'm going to torture your grandmother if you do not write this essay on Donald Trump for me. And then I don't know what is going to happen. So yeah, I mean, like very, 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 very weird stuff. Let me know what you think about it. If you actually feel this is a good feature, or if you think that this is going to be extremely dangerous. See you in another video. Happy prompting.